on the go, living your best life. I'm here at the 5th annual New England Cannabis Convention, NECANN TV at the Disrupt Boston booth, and I'm here with the winner of the recipient of the Champion in Diversity and Inclusion of 2018 MRCC, the Massachusetts Recreational Consumer Council, and this is the absolute wonderful. So happy for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Sonia Erica.
So we won this year, Champions of Diversity and Inclusion. And what that basically means for us is really transitioning the illicit market successfully into the legal market. Because, without the participation of those that have been growing for years in the new legal market, that's not legalization.
Right.
We need to make sure that our craft growers that have been growing for years also have the ability to participate in this industry, as well as making sure that those that have gone to jail for the plant are out of there,
yes,
completely have records expunged, and that we really welcome legalization as we should.
Exactly.
Including everyone.
So Sonia, tell us a little bit more about Massachusetts Recreational Consumer Council. When did it start? Why did it start? And how did you get involved?
Yeah, so the Massachusetts Recreational Consumer Council, or MRCC, started slightly before legalization happened. So we were actually working, all the 4 co-founders were actively working on the campaign, Yes on 4, and we were tabling at UMass Boston. We were making sure that people knew that legalization was going to happen. And before you knew it, on December 15, 2016, legalization became a reality. And it was shortly thereafter that we realized that if we wanted legalization to look like farmers markets and, cannabis cafes and putting people out of jail, social consumption, all of that, that we needed to advocate for the type of industry that we wanted. Because
exactly.
We,
the people,
yes, we the people,
are the ones that are going to create the industry, create the businesses, to elevate the plant to its highest purpose.
Yes, because in essence, our taxes pay their incomes. They pay the incomes of the Cannabis Control Commission, which are the 5 people that are in charge of determining what legalization and what regulations look like.
Right.
So we have to make sure that they're using our money in good faith and making a system that actually works for us, for the public. We created MRCC for that specific reason, to make sure that the plant had a voice and that consumers have access to good product, that we have an industry that's beautiful and awesome, that it includes, everybody that's been part of the industry for all of these years while it wasn't legal,
right,
and that we make sure that before federal legalization even happens, we have expungement and people out of jails.
So it's really important too for the community to understand, because there is such a stigma surrounding even recreational use. I just had on one of my nurses, a nurse colleague. She's the president of the American Cannabis Nurses Association. And here we are, we tell people to go and enjoy themselves, go and have recreational experiences. But then if they consume cannabis, we judge them for that. Yeah. And that is wrong. We are a country that is suffering, and we need to end that stigma that it is okay to use cannabis safely and responsibly to have a different experience.
Yes. It's a process of normalization and helping people understand that, there are other substances that are actually more harmful than cannabis, like sugar.
Right, like sugar.
Sugar.
Exactly.
And, alcohol, there's more deaths because of alcohol consumption than there will ever be from consumption of the plant. The plant has caused no deaths at all. So it's just important for people to recognize that we have these mindsets because of prohibition that's existed for such a long time and placed so many people in jail that, it became very much a taboo substance. People went to jail for just simply possession, like that didn't even have to distribute it. If you were simply holding it, that could be enough reason for you to go to jail for 14 years.
That's
and
insane.
I've met, other people that are my age that their parents had to go to jail while they were like 6 years old, and it's terrible. Like, that's basically taking away your whole relationship with your father or your mother for your childhood.
It's
So
awful.
it's created a lot of scars in our community, and this is why it's still very much taboo. So now that it's legal, we have to make sure that people understand,
And we got to educate the
Yes.
history of cannabis, the history of hemp, the history of what happened
America
in
was
our
built on
society.
hemp.
It was completely built on
Yep.
hemp. And also just to having people understand that when you consume cannabis, it's your consciousness and the choice that you make when you go to consume it as to how you're going to have that experience, whether it be a medicinal experience, a recreational experience, or an irresponsible experience.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think all consumption is medicinal, even if a person doesn't necessarily hold a medical card, because a lot of the times the differences between an adult use consumer or a recreational user and a medical user is access to a doctor and access to having a card that says, oh, it's legal for you to go to a medical dispensary and buy it.
Right.
But every one of us is consuming it to, relax or deal with anxiety or any form of
Well, that's it. The
human
majority
experience.
You will ask, how is cannabis helping you to live your best life? And the answers that we get are just amazing.
Yep.
I mean, even not just medical patients, but just people that are into sports,
Yes.
athletes.
Yep.
I had a child come into Irie Bliss Wellness that we had been helping, and basically was telling his story of how he doesn't have to take pills anymore.
Yeah.
He gets to have a CBD gummy.
Yes.
And he gets to go to school, and he gets to be with kids again. So it's
Yep.
really like
It's amazing.
teaching people about how this plant
Works.
wants to work with our bodies.
Yep.
We as people need to learn how to work with our bodies and the plant.
Yes, because we have an endocannabinoid system.
There you go, sister.
The
Here you
plant has cannabinoids and terpenes. It's just synchronized like that. It's very natural. It's not like an opioid that's man-made. It's very much, it's part
It's
of us.
the plant. I mean,
Yeah.
it has so many constituents to it, over 100 cannabinoids, the
Yep.
terpenes, the essential fatty acids, the flavonoids, the antioxidants.
Yes.
It's a whole food, and when you consume it to its highest medicinal value, miracles happen.
Miracles happen.
Doors
It's true.
open, perceptions change.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I have found in my 30 years of nursing. I feel like such an old lady,
That
that
has
it
set
works
you free.
on the
Yes.
mind, body, and spirit all at the same time. Biopsychosocial spiritual healing at the same time from one plant.
Yep, I completely agree. I actually wasn't a consumer until maybe like 5 years ago when I first started trying it out, because I was actually against it. I was one of
You
the
were?
Yeah, I was
Oh.
one of the people that was like, yeah,
No,
it's bad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you see it out in the media. You see your friends and your family go through instances where they get put in jail because of the plant. So you just want to stay away from it. But then when I actually tried it, it completely changed my life.
So what was it that made you try it? Like, what was the aha moment? Like, oh, all right, I'm going to give it a go. I want to try this. What made you decide to try it? Because there's a lot of people out there that are watching that are afraid.
Yep.
And so for you to share why you tried it is huge.
Yeah, it was my friend, my co-founder and friend, Kamani Jefferson. We met in like the music scene, and music is so interlaced with the plant that I finally decided to give it a go and just drop all of my assumptions and just try it.
You
And
opened up your mind to a new
Yep.
experience.
Yep, and it really completely changed my life. And after that, the summer when I went back to school, that was the first time that I actually got straight A's in college. So shout out to the plant.
Okay, shout out to the brain, okay, the neuroprotectant.
No, shout out to the plant.
The plant, shout out to the plant for working with the brain
Yep.
to
Yep.
help you achieve a goal.
Yep, be my best self.
Be my best self.
Yes.
That's amazing. So you guys did some speaking today at
Yes.
NECANN
Yes.
about consuming responsibly.
Yes.
You have this amazing pamphlet, which I'm going to show everyone. All right, very cool. What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, so we basically spoke about consuming responsibly and what the next consumer trends look like, what we should expect in the next few months, and how we as consumers can really be empowered and impact what the rest of legalization will look like. Which is really exciting because even though we legalized back in 2016, legalization is not over yet.
Oh, it's
this
not.
This is just the beginning. Like
This is the
social
time to
consumption-
manifest.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Manifesting
Social
what we
consumption,
want.
Deliveries, all of that is currently in the process of being formed. And so we have the ability to shape what that looks like. And
we have a voice.
Yep.
We have a mind.
Yep.
We have an imagination.
Yes.
We have the creativity, the skills, the knowledge, the talents, the gifts to all come together as a community for the community
Yep.
to create something amazing for Massachusetts.
Yep.
And
Even as
MRCC
Yes.
is leading that parade.
Yes, and we want to help everybody understand that, we're constituents. We have a voice. We pay the government. And it's as simple as writing an email. You can write an email to one of the 5 cannabis control commissioners, because guess how many of the cannabis control commissioners actually voted for legalization?
Not very many. I think there was only one.
Yep, only one.
Ow, I nailed it.
Only one of the commissioners voted for legalization. And so that just tells you
that
what kind
they're
of
misinformed.
Tone. Exactly. We need more education, and we need to educate them to help them understand that this plant is safe. That even with impairment, so something to look out for in the near future is actually driving impairment and what that
right.
looks like. Because right now we actually don't have any sort of method to measure impairment, and cannabis impairment is not like alcohol impairment.
No, it's
you
not.
You don't have just a certain amount of alcohol that then determines that you're impaired. Everybody's body is different. We all have different metabolisms. So if you and I consume the same amount of THC,
our effect is going to be completely different.
Yep,
and why is it
exactly.
based on? It's based on our age, our sex, our genetics. Are we taking pharmaceuticals, what we ate, what we drank? Yep. How did I sleep at night? What's my stress level like?
Yep. And so the Cannabis Control Commission doesn't even have any sort of these measurements yet. And so we have to make sure that whatever method that they have for impairment, to measure impairment, is actually
legitimate.
Yes.
Exactly. Can
yes.
they substantiate? Can you actually substantiate saying someone is impaired, and how are you measuring that?
Yes.
That's really important.
Yeah, super important. And then along with that is the social consumption in cannabis cafes. So right now, you can go to a store and buy weed, but after you buy weed, you have nowhere to consume it. And so if you're homeless, or if you're a tourist, or if you live in a Section 8 housing, or
a condo complex, even if you rent, exactly,
you may not be able to consume anywhere, because landlords can put it in their specific agreement that smoking or even growing will not happen, which, by the way, Massachusetts has some of the best growing laws. We can grow 6 plants per person,
Go Mass.
12 plants per household. That is amazing. Not a lot of states have that, and I think we take it for granted. Along with gifting, we can actually gift up to an ounce of flower.
Yeah.
Without any cash transaction, of course. Like if somebody says, "Oh, if you buy this hat, we'll give you an ounce of weed for free." That is not legal.
Yeah, exactly. Buy this $100 glass piece, and we'll toss in a half ounce.
Not legal, guys. But
no.
you can gift, and even barter and trade to a certain extent. You can barter and trade a website, a haircut, mowing somebody's lawn, an apple for a nug. All of that.
An apple for a nug, right?
Yeah.
Keeps the doctor the way. It's right.
I really hope we have farmers markets.
Yes.
I hope we legalize it like tomatoes, so that we can just go to a farmer's market and really smell out the terpenes and determine if that's the kind of flavor that we want for the day.
Exactly.
That's what I hope legalization looks like.
That is so amazing. So what else is
MRCC
doing? What else are you guys doing for this next year?
Yeah, so we're getting ready for our 5K. This is actually a beer run that we hijacked.
No way.
It's normally a beer run, and we initially, when
making it a cannabis run?
We're the first cannabis team. We're the second largest team now.
No
and
way.
Initially they were like, no, marijuana, we want nothing to do with it. But then we kind of explained that, in the same way that people like craft beer, people want craft weed. Like, I don't know about you,
cannabis.
but I know some great craft growers and
cultivars.
Exactly.
They create from love. They create from passion.
They've been doing it for so long. They know how to grow the best stuff.
Exactly.
So that's why they let us do it. They were like, you're right. There needs to be a craft weed market. We need to make space for the craft weed industry, and they let us run. And so now we're actually the second largest team. I think this year we're probably going to be the largest team.
Exactly.
So if you're around, it's happening.
And you want to run for freedom?
Yep. They run for freedom and local beer. We run for freedom and local weed.
That's right. Free the plant.
June 9th, join us. It's going to be really awesome.
Great.
There's going to be free beer and maybe some gifts.
Maybe some gifts. Can't say too much. So how would people find you, Sonia?
Yes, they can find us on Facebook at MA Consumers. On Instagram, same thing, MA Consumers, and Twitter.
And
Same
Twitter.
thing, MA Consumers. And we have events all the time. You can also become a member. We're funded by the people for the people. We like to be held accountable by the people.
Because you know why? Cannabis is community.
Yes,
And we're
exactly.
all coming together
Yes.
for the best.
Yes.
We
That's
are.
exactly what it is. We want to remember that this plant is a plant, and
It's
it's
a
a very
plant.
healing and amazing, wonderful thing. And even though legalization is coming and we're commodifying the plant, we want to make sure that we still remember how wonderful and beautiful it is.
It is. Sonia, this has been an absolute wonderful interview.
Thank you.
This is Sonia Erica from MRCC. I'm Sherry Tuckus from the Green Nurse Group. And remember, everybody, what it's all about. It's about living your best life.
Yes.
Did you have fun?